Okay, I totally didn't just do an intro while muted. Y'all, that totally didn't just happen. Shut up. Shut up. But welcome in, guys. Holy shit. Scuff! It happens. It's okay. At least y'all didn't see my face moving. So it was like it never even happened. I didn't even have to mention it. But I did. I did because I'm honest. I did because I'm honest. Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord. But welcome in, guys. The silence told us already. Nah, sometimes I just lower the volume and it's quiet for a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Don't need to even worry about it a little bit. But welcome in, guys. Oh, dang, can't steal the titties on this one. Technically you can. I mean, I don't have it set up to automatically rip them. But I try to keep an eye out in case, because usually I tell them, it's like, it doesn't really work on this model, but since some people still redeem it, I've been just kind of ripping them anyway. I've just been doing it manually. No, but the head pats don't work.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't bread over every egg.
No, I don't need multifunction buttons because I like dragging my music slider down in OBS and then unclicking my microphone. Please and thank you. Listen, it's fine. It's fine, okay? It happens only like, I end up doing like a scuffed intro. I'm gonna pretend like I'm not totally censored and not I'm just over here. But it's nonsense. It's nonsense. The thing is, though, is like with my scuff, like with like intros doing stuff like that, that's like once every couple months situation. What happened to you? You became inside? No, I'm like that gif of the person setting the cat down on the bed, but the cat is pixelated for some reason. You know, as you do. As you do. Wait a second. Okay. Ordain, wait, Ordain! Don't you do it? Ordain already did it. Already did it, and Light already hit the hard tack. But, chat, I made a mistake today. So you know how I got like the key for Expedition 33? That's fine. That's dandy. I forgot that they sent me a media kit, and I didn't check it till literally during the pre-roll. I have never had this from another fucking dev team before. There is an entire fucking stream setup in here. All the way down to like saved fucking OBS screen collections. There are setup tutorials, both for OBS and Streamlabs, as well as their entire alert system. There's icons in the style of the game for every social media and every kind of like average icon you would expect. There's like, this shit's insane. There's editable social media templates that come in PSD files. They come with their fonts. I already downloaded their fonts. They come with a transition screen that I have not added to my OBS. They have panels if I wanted to like change the ones down below, like the ones that are below stream. There's panels for literally everything: about me, Discord, donations, Facebook, Instagram, merch, PC setup, rules, schedules, Snapchat, socials. Snapchat? What content creator uses Snapchat? TikTok, Twitch. It's X, but I would edit that shit to Twitter because they actually do still have the, in their icon section, where is it? There's still the Twitter bird. They still have the Twitter bird in their icon section, which is fantastic. Although it is funny, every single one of their icons start with, in all caps, get wrecked. So it's like, get wrecked, full icon pack bits. Get wrecked, full icon pack panel Discord. They even have icons for YouTube members and like about me panels and shit. And then there's like a potion here, which I wonder what that is. There's like a potion looking icon. There's stream scenes, there's starting soon, be right back, and stream ending screens, as well as specific intermission pages. Damn, I'm like you could have a whole stream just off this one game. Scene collections, widgets, alerts. The alerts are actually kind of cool because they actually made, where are they? Alert files. They made different alerts for every tier of sub. So like the first one's basically just a panel with like some sand and stuff. The other one has what looks like a lunar eclipse. And then the tier 3 has like petals and stuff flying around it. Like they fucking knocked it out of the park with this. I didn't have enough time to put these in. Even for like cam streamers and stuff, they also included fucking camera overlays. More advanced than the current circus. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Why are you being mean to me? Tried my best. Tried my best. Also, I just realized apparently there are. I clicked the button for the sad, and because it's actually a macro, it kind of fudged up. It like fudged up my search window, which was very weird, but okay. But yeah, this is overall an extremely impressive. I'm just used to getting like media packages and they're usually like, here's the trailer, here's the icons. I think the last one that was this thorough, or that was even close to this thorough, was actually a Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. New, are y'all being mean to me clipping the retro model? Oh, is that what you want? Do you just want the, let me see, where are we? That's not it. Go over here. Everybody's so mean to me. Is this the meme? Is this what you wanted? Beep beep. Beep beep what? You're a sheep? We sheeping in here? Go corner, just kind of just la sigh. All right. Guess what? I'm in your face. Hi. Bloodhunt had so much potential, it got abandoned, unfortunately. Yeah, pretty much. The Discord is still active, and they're still doing the end music from the Hulk TV show from the 70s. Oh wow. No, it's the music for America's, or what is it? Greatest Hero? America's Greatest Hero? Let me hold on real quick. Hold on. America's Greatest Hero. The Greatest American Hero. That's it. All right, hold on. Chat, I'm sorry you did this. The Greatest American Hero. Y'all are getting a trip down like memory lane of one of the strangest openings to a comedy hero TV series. Oh my god. Y'all, some of y'all, if y'all have seen Family Guy too, you may recognize this song. Oh my goodness. Believe it or not, I'm walking on it. Andrew Jackson, is it? Nah, this is done by somebody named Joey Scarberry. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. I'm sorry, okay? This is a cute song. And it's very funny that, if I remember correctly, the opening for the song at the time it's like going through this dude is being pulled by a car to go jump off a ramp. It feels very much like Dukes of Hazzard meets delusional guy who thinks he's a superhero. It was, what was it, 70s? When was this series on air? Let me see real quick. I'm rocking on it. 81 premiered as a 2-hour movie on March 18th, 1981. Wait. The lead character's surname, Ralph Hinckley. The lead character's surname was temporarily changed to Hanley for a few months immediately after President Ronald Reagan and 3 others were shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. That's less than 2 weeks after the movie came out. The movie came out in less than 2 weeks was when Ronald Reagan was shot. The Greatest American Hero. That's what this series is called. Da-da-da. Oh, okay. Here's the plot. Here's the plot. Let's turn the music down real quick. The plot is Ralph Hinckley is the Los Angeles teacher of remedial education to high school students. During a school field trip, Ralph encounters extraterrestrials who give him a suit which endows him with superhuman abilities. During the encounter, he is also instructed by the aliens to thereafter collaborate with FBI Special Agent Bill Maxwell. Their instructions are to use the suit as a means to fight crime and injustice in the world. Amazing. Amazing. Oh my God. Oh my God. This suit's also very funny because weirdly to me, it always looked like the icon on his chest looked like some kind of like Chinese character or something. To team up with the FBI, that's exactly what they did. And get this, hold on, let me bring it back up. The next part is about a different character. It gets, cutie stars, thank you for the follow, it gets worse. Subsequently, attorney Pam Davidson, who handled Ralph's divorce, also encounters the aliens. Through some coercion, they eventually agree on occasion to join Ralph and Bill during missions. So you get a remedial high school teacher who has superpowers thanks to a suit he got from aliens, team up with the FBI Special Agent Bill Maxwell and attorney Pam Davidson. American's powers in the suit. It's actually in the jacket. It's been in the jacket this entire time. Wait. There's a section on Superman and Green Lantern connections. Was somewhat generic, but it was still similar enough to the abilities of Superman from Warner Brothers. The owners of DC filed a lawsuit against ABC. Warner Brothers Inc. versus American Broadcasting Companies Incorporated was ultimately dismissed. The series arguably owes a great debt to other comic properties in which ordinary humans are given extraordinary powers by extraterrestrials, including the Green Lantern and Starman series from DC Comics, as well as Nova from Marvel Comics. The concept of a hero's powers residing in their costume rather than themselves was also similar to Ant-Man. The series occasionally made references to Superman in relation to Ralph's situations. In a pilot episode, when Ralph ponders whether to accept the suit, he observes his son watching the Super Friends cartoon. Batman is heard to say, "We need one more super friend who can fly." In a later scene, having yet to convince Pam he really is a superhero, Ralph jokes, "Look at it this way, there's one step ahead of Lois Lane. She never found out who Clark Kent really was, except I think in every cartoon series ever, she always knew." In Saturday on Sunset Boulevard, Ralph needs to change his clothing quickly. Seeing a telephone booth, he grumbles, "No, never," but ends up using it. Later, while Ralph struggles to get changed in the back of Bill's car, Bill notes, "We need to get a bigger phone booth." God damn it. God damn it. It's gonna be 28 degrees Celsius tomorrow. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. So when is the CW reboot coming out? Ugh. I don't think they'll ever bring it back. I don't think they will ever be able to bring it back. I'm pretty confident about that. Oh my God. All right. Imagine being an alien and they give you a weapon and tell you to work with the federal government. Yeah, it's... I think that's what's even funnier is it's only a trope that could work. Well, I forget, is S.H.I.E.L.D. technically, in the Marvel Comics, is S.H.I.E.L.D. a US government entity? I don't remember. And I know X-Men had like contacts with the FBI in a lot of the comic series. They're multinational. I know they did stuff multinational, but I could have swore they were like US based. Weren't they? Am I misremembering? I was gonna say, I could have swore they were like a US entity. The Federal Bureau of Control. Listen, Control was a great game, okay? I'm still waiting on Control 2. And I'm probably gonna keep waiting on Control 2 forever. Forever and a half. What the fuck? Oh, okay. I was like, what am I looking at? Oh, it's Pink Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, but they're wrestling girls. Who is this person? Why do I follow them? Why do I follow this person? Oh, okay. They're the person who has the mimic girl. That's why I follow them. That's why. I see. What? What's the deal? What's the problem? 2.0 plays Control 2.0. Listen, Control 2.0, I have no idea how far away it is. Probably at least a couple years. But I am very excited for Bloodlines 2. So we're going to get that. And sadly, chat, I think I'm going to be really annoying about Bloodlines 2. Because I'm probably going to play through it like 6 times. 6 times sounds like a good number. I think 6 times sounds like a good number. He's got the whole bureau that gives him the green light for certain things, and Nick Fury tells him to duck off. Better make it 7. I mean, there's what? There's 4 clans, right? Let me double check. Bloodlines 2 plays the Mamba. Listen to the radio. All right. Clans. Yeah, there's only 4 right now. Apparently, there's going to be more in the DLC. That's already been confirmed. But there's 4 4 clans that you can play through, and they do kind of, I think technically each does have actually multiple play styles in them. But there's also like, there's supposedly going to be like a social side to the game. There's a combat side to the game. And I'm very curious to see, because one of the announcements they made, or somebody described like, what is it? Social encounters in this game is that they're like a maze. You never know fully where they're going to go. And the same Control game coming out soon. I mean, there was the DLC for Alan Wake 2 recently. Makari's got her hams out again. But let me see. Time to jam out to 80s music? Yeah, apparently. I actually used to play this song on Beat Saber a lot because for some reason, some motherfucker made a fun as shit. No. Oh my God. They released an official Cyberpunk 2077 playing card deck. The $28 a piece? God damn it, dude. Here goes Saber. Saber! Which clans? Oh, here, let me get that back open for you. I know Banu Hakim. Okay, here they are. Bruja, Tremere, Banu Hakim, and Ventru. Those are the clans that are going to be in Bloodlines 2. Supposedly there's going to be 1 or 2 more, at least 1. But everybody I know is speculating that the DLC is going to be La Sombra. Can you feel the synth? Do you want to feel the synth? I will give you the fucking synth, gay boy. Let me see. Where is it? I know exactly. We need the first song with the synth. That's what we need. There we go. There we go. Say hello to Frankenstein by the Edgar Winter Group. Every time I hear Starship on the radio, I think of my father telling me he grew up down the street from Jefferson Airplane, later Jefferson Starship, and Starship as a kid. Wow. What they need to do is officially release Cyberpunk 2077 with a minor arcana. Listen, I didn't even see who it was. I just read it. Can you feel the synth? And I was like, I'll give you the synth. I'll give you the synth. People will buy anything except junk. No, people will buy junk. That's why junk shops exist. That's that junk shop I told you about where like that really cheap taco truck I go to is parked. I was looking at the junk stop stuff that they have outside, and for some brain dead reason, this shop decided that they wanted to put all of their vintage and old alarm clocks outside. And no, I don't mean like under an awning or like tucked away into like a corner or anything. No, 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 no. This thing was, they were propped out in a like vinyl bag, just rusting away in that bag. I started like picking through them, and it got worse and worse the closer to the bottom of the bag I got. And there was no way in hell any of those clocks were ever going to work. Ever again. Every single casing that it was plastic was broken, and every one that was metal was rusted. Axel F is the ultimate Sith. Sith. Christ. Hold on. I want to see what happens if I go to the pages for these clans really quick. Okay, no, it doesn't say anything about their exact disciplines. But I'm honestly, I think the first time we play this game on stream, I'm probably gonna go interesting. I'm probably gonna go Banu Hakim. I'm not gonna lie. Banu Hakim or maybe Bruja. Maybe Bruja. Luke, I am your undercover cop. No! I hope what they do though is that they don't make the same mistake Cyberpunk did, and they give us multiple campaign slots. Please, oh shit. Please give me the multiple campaign slots. So I can have multiple characters at once and have like a campaign I play on stream. Oh goodness, a campaign I play on stream and then a campaign I play by myself. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to stream one campaign, and then stream's going to be over, and then I'm going to open the other one. And that's all you're going to see. It's going to be fucking 24 hours every day of me being logged into Bloodlines 2. You don't know the power of this synthesizer? Hell yeah. Hold on. Yeah, we'll break out some. Oh, good lord. Do I dare? No. No, I dare not. Also, I totally forgot that Edgar Winter had his fucking nipples out on the cover for this song. The album that this song came out on. He's just basically naked. Hi, Zozo. How confused will Mary be? What? What? The original? That's what I was thinking, but is it Harold Faltermeyer or... Because there's a Crazy Frog one that's like, I do not want to hear Axel F by the Minecraft Villager. Why is that here? Why is that here? Doctor Who-ish? Yeah, the intro to Frankenstein. I can see that. Hack Driver, thank you for the follow. Hack Driver, I could have swore you followed before. To make you suffer? Is it the Harold Faltermeyer one? I don't know if it is. Hold on. Is he? Okay, yeah, it's definitely him. Oh yeah? Oh yeah. I added the Minecraft villager to the carnival? No, I skinned him and threw him in the flesh pit. Before he could even utter his first... Ultimate synth? Yeah, just fucking hit it. But what the shit? Wait, what am I looking at? Oh, okay. It's the Wallace and Gromit DLC for God, I have not played Power Wash Sim in so goddamn long. I was just thinking about that the other day, and I think I downloaded it, but I didn't end up playing it. Come on. Oh god, I don't like the clicking. I don't like the clicking because it's switching ears on me, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's hurting my soul. It's hurting my soul. Okay. Bum, bum. Embrace it. Is that what the first hour is going to be today? Is it just going to be a jam session? Is it music request hour? Do we need to do like bit music request or something? Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Because I can find indie song on Spotify. I've done nothing. Yeah, hey, listen, you still got the Armstrong off, okay? You still got the Armstrong off. You can't prove anything? I disagree. I disagree. Jesus Christ. What the hell? I'm sorry. Hold on. I just came across the post. Who remembers the unstrongs your arm? No, my strong arms. Candy Colton, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Who remembers the trend and the thing that like some companies are doing with their like concrete printing machines, where they're saying they're building obviously buildings with like those concrete extruder things. Apparently, there's a Starbucks that they did that with. And so help me God, this is one of the ugliest fucking buildings I've ever seen. I would rather have brutalism. I would rather have fucking brutalism. Hold on. Hold on. Come look at this sweet hell with me. I'm surprised that it was still capturing that. That's impressive. I don't think I set that capture earlier. Look at this fucking nightmare. Grins, that's the fourth card I made. Oh. They need to sand it down. I don't know if sanding it will work. Because the thing too is if y'all haven't seen, let me actually find real quick. Concrete. Just put in like printer. Here it is. This is exactly it. This is the same building process. That wall is hollow. You can only sand so much. Shut up. When make ice cream? Oh my God. Rural and unserved areas. Sure, that's the method. Yes, this is supposedly the method. I'm sure this is fine. Absolutely, what we need is more concrete. Is this the Top Gun theme? No, I don't think so. Oh, it is. Oh shit, it is. Wait, how did that get started? That's interesting. All right, I'm gonna go back to the light songs. Nah, hold on. All right, until another song comes around, we're back on the playlist. Don't say it, Sunstar. Don't say it. I know what you're thinking. But yeah, this is interesting, potentially decent, but also kind of stupid. Even worse when it looks like this. Jesus. Plays all 80s all the time. You fucking dark. Although I like the same person who over here showed off a coffee shop from Soviet Russia. Because this is cute. I like this. It also reminds me of like tiny dairy shops that I used to see when I was up north. Like old family run dairy shops. Because like you would find these places that would open up in New England in the summer based. I almost said in the winter. That's the exact opposite. In the summer, and they would serve like soft serves and stuff. And it was really neat. It was really neat. Put on a coat of stucco. Gross. Stucco's even worse. It's even worse. Hold on. I'm gonna see if there's. Okay, but hold on. Let me open this. Dude, that's AI generated. Are you brain dead? Fucking dipstick. Look. I can't fucking get over it. Dude's like, oh yeah, but look at this even lazier and uglier one. It's AI generated. He couldn't find a real one. I would never walk into an AI generated building. That also explains why the architecture makes no sense. But even then, this wouldn't be how they made it if they made a brutalist Starbucks. But if Starbucks had a brutalism version, this would look better than this. Although I do like the person who did point out that it does look like a stack of their like cup trays. The walls do not fall over. I agree. How do you think they shatter if you hit them with a hammer? Do you think they're actually like each layer is actually bonded, or do you think they're just like, if you hit it with a hammer, they're gonna fall apart? Cool. Thank you for the 10 stream streak. Holy shit. It's the poo building. It is the poo building. Minimalism is the worst. Oh. I've seen military munitions bunkers that look better. Amazing. This is a shitty picture. Holy shit. I thought that was just the rendering. Oh my gosh, the concrete they use would be some degree of bonding, but not great. I mean, you hit anything with a hammer enough times, it'll start falling apart. Concrete does become highly breakable if there's a space beneath it. Yeah. Yep. I think it's hollow. Again, there's like a space in the wall. There's a big space in the wall, which, depending on the building style, isn't that unheard of. But meanwhile, Starbucks in downtown Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. That's just a regular storefront. That's just a glass storefront. That's almost every major city fucking Starbucks, like downtown Starbucks. Break it down, baby, break it down. All right. Now we'll go back. All right. I don't think I have any other topics today, although I'm still deeply concerned about why Broth drew Johnny Silverhand today, but it was apparently the entire time talking to his chat about the... Hold on, let me make sure I get this quote right. Gotta make sure I do this one justice here. Where is it? Is it media dumpers? No. Yes, here it is. Drew Johnny Silverhand while chatting about the nuclear Yowie cuck chair. Yeah. Nuclear Yowie cuck chair. I have several questions, none of which Broth will answer. I summoned Captain Planet. You heard me. Do I need to spell it out for you? Is that what you want? Also, hold on. Okay. I summoned Captain Pollution. Please tell me Captain Pollution was a character in the Captain Planet cartoon. Didn't die. Pollution is very much still alive. Wait, was he an actual character? Captain Pollution, as opposed to what's his name? Oh, he is. Oh my god. Captain Planet having him in a chokehold. Oh my god. Toxic Yowie in my household. Okay. All right, let me go check a thing. Smog, Sledge, Stink. Hey, was he like the creation of like 5 people too? Was he? Please tell me he was. Please tell me he was. But hold on, what was the other thing I was about to look up? There's something else I was about to look up, and now I forgot. The bad guys come together and made him? Oh. Dr. Hyde is really the greatest man alive? Really? Actually, chat, you know what? I know a song that a lot of us... I want to see how many people recognize immediately who's singing the song. Let me think real quick. What was the name of this show? Oh, I remember. Okay. This is just going to be the short version. So real quick, let me pause this. I want to see who know if y'all immediately know who's singing this song. Oh shit! I muted. Apparently, I muted the player. What the fuck? When did? Oh, that's because I did it for the concrete video. All right. Scuff. Nah, it's fine. It happens. Yeah, Milo Murphy. Who's Weird Al? There you go. Good job, Tommy. I'm sorry. I just like Weird Al songs. Okay. Scuff. Don't you scuff me. It's literally. It was like 4 seconds. It was like 4 seconds. I like it. Listen, when you give Weird Al things that he wants to do, it's fucking fantastic. I still remember his launch of what was it? Hold on. Mandatory Fun, I believe is what it was called, that album. And he released, what was it? The first song he released, basically over the course of a week, he released like music videos for every song that was on that. But it was, the first song was, I believe, Tacky. And then for every what was it? Every concert he had for it, he would do like this big lead in. Actually, you know what, chat? We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. Unfortunately, all the people who are watching the VOD are not going to be able to hear it. So I want to show y'all this because come on, I know there's better ones here. Ones that he recorded himself. Okay. Okay, I found it. Let's go back over here. So this is a fun way that they fucking decided to intro at all their concerts. This scene is basically on a projector at the concert hall. That's usually how they do this at all of like the concerts they had. And his first song would always be, he'd like start somewhere. Okay, this is the official one that he posted. So it like cuts around in the city that he had the first concert in. But there's ones where he literally walks from like 2 blocks away. John, stop thinking you can keep watching. Oh my God. Oh my God. Deserves to be eaten. It's worthy. Oh, good Lord. Raytheon fanatic. Oh no. Oh, wait, is it not coming through? Oh, it's quiet. It's quiet. That's why. Here, let me find a different one real quick because I want. Actually, yeah, this is the better one. There we go. There we go. Party in the CIA is a banger. No, it's still jumping through the city. Damn it. There's one I remember seeing where it's him like actually walking from a block away. This video, they love the Despicable Me films. Listen, Weird Al music videos and the parodies are so good. A new scuff touches. Today's just absolutely fucked. I'm scared to open the game now. I'm scared to open the game. Weird Al dealing with J.K. Simmons' character from Whiplash. Oh my God, is there? I've never seen that. I'm so upset I've never seen that. We're playing Expedition 33 today, Lucian. Also, those are the cheerleaders for another song that he sings at the concert. GPU catches fire. No, don't put that curse on me. I was given a key and a media pack from the devs, and it's fucking nuts. Look at the dude following him with the camera out. Ed Hardy shirt with fluorescent orange pants. The thing too, if y'all haven't seen the music video for this song, it has so many celebrities in it. Threatening waiters at the bad Yelp review. Here. The thing too is, hold on. I need y'all to see the original music video. And remember, this was in one take. One take. Okay, we don't need the captions for this. UHF? I don't know what that is. But he was made with Al, yep. And see, it's the same outfit too. He wears the same outfit that he had in the music video to the concert. I want to see how many people y'all recognize throughout this fucking music video. UHF is Weird Al movie? UHF. Oh, is that the one that came out recently? Oh, I haven't seen it. I remember hearing that somebody else was playing Weird Al in it. Doesn't deserve the hate it got. Wait, people hated on it? Really? Also, hold on a second. I just realized I apparently, like, 2 hours ago, my phone's been open in front of me playing a game. Look at him! It's in orange pants. This is I can't remember his name. This is the guy from Modern Family. It's okay, though. I know chat's going to recognize some people in this music video shortly. I promise. I promise. And yes, they did, in fact, steal like 90% of the cast from Saturday Night Live for this. So far, I'm at 4. Just wait. It gets better. It gets better. That's it. Dana Radcliffe. Yep. Give it to me. Give it to me. Come on. Where's our boy? There he is. Look at this fucking loser. This is the best part too. This was 3 months after Jack Black said he wanted to retire from movies like Kung Fu Panda and stuff because he wanted to take his career more serious. And then this was his next appearance. This was the next piece of media that Jack Black showed up in. At the bank and take off my shirt at least. Again, one take. Can you imagine being the cameraman for this? I'm sorry. When this song came out, I'm not going to lie, I listened to it on repeat. Can you imagine a world where Jack Black went serious with his career? What do you think a serious Jack Black movie would look like? But that's it. That's enough. That's enough. Also, word crimes. Thank God. Word crimes. Let's go. 10 years? Oh my God, it's 10 years old. Oh my God, I'm ancient. Oh no. I could have swore this came out more recent. Oh no. I remember the week when he was launching all of these music videos. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're lying to yourself if you think the Minecraft movie is serious. And you're lying to... What was it? No. Ain't no way. I could have swore I still remember him being essentially feeling like a joke character. He actually looks pretty decent in this picture, but some of these other ones aren't so, like, flattering. Like, that looks like a child. Has to be at least... Oh my God, is it? Is it? That can't be true. That can't be true. That's not right. That can't be real. 15. It's 15. Okay. Also, the saga begins. Actually, it's only 15 because that's how old YouTube is. Fuck. Hi, pretty VTubers. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? Oh, shucks. Played some kind of black market weapons dealer in the Jackal. The Jackal. Is the Jackal... Okay, it's not the Nicolas Cage one that I thought that was like the arms dealer. Okay, this does not look like a serious character. Especially because this is another one. And he has a beer. Is his arm gone? Interesting. Then again, just watch this scene. No. No, because he obviously gets his arm blown off. All right, let's put this back away and go back to the chatting screen. Oh my goodness. And then let me not forget to bring the volume back down. There we go. Because it was on MTV. Yeah. I was going to say, because 15 years ago is basically just when YouTube came out. No, it's not. No, it's not. What am I talking about? 15 years ago was 2010. YouTube came out in 2004. So the oldest thing would be about 21 years old, I think. But this is probably just the point where Weird Al like made his own channel and started uploading his own stuff. I think that's when it was. Yeah, it's over 20. It's over 20 years. Oh, you're right. I don't think it would actually be 21 yet, because didn't it come out in like November of 2024? Not 2024, 2004. Jesus Christ. I'm good, just doing my job. Hell yes, salute. 2005? I could have swore it was 2004. Why did I think it was 2004? I don't know. Like a surgeon. Next. Oh God. All right, fine. We'll play Thunderstruck. YouTube was originally a dating site. I don't think that's the case. Also, I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure my first introduction to a Weird Al song was Fat. Come on, because baby, I'm fat. I'm fat. Nah, YouTube was always for home videos. Yeah, I remember it always being for home videos. Like, I could have swore it was. Huh. Oh God, there's a video uploaded by Weird Al himself from 5 years ago of him singing Amish Paradise. Fantastic. I love Rocky Road. Sorry, I keep scrolling and I keep seeing more Weird Al songs that I miss. But it's so good. Ah, okay, here's a clip of definitely Daniel Radcliffe being Weird Al playing Another One Rides the Bus. Listen, Another One Rides the Bus was shockingly a decent song, and was also the way that Weird Al got his break on the radio station, on his local radio station, if I remember correctly. Jack Black was in Ice Age? Was he? Was he now? Jack Black played Zeke. Is he the Sabretooth? Oh my God, he is. It's been so long since I've seen the Ice Age. Like, last time I watched Ice Age was when it was new. So, honestly, did not expect to find out that Zeke was Jack Black. I could have swore it was somebody else. Ah! Oh, wait, hold on. I can do better. Ah! There's going to be a new Ice Age? No. My Bologna. All the way to the ancient year of 1979. Oh no. My Bologna. I Googled it was a dating site originally, but they transitioned very quickly when they realized what they had. Ah, was it a dating site that like you would upload videos of yourself to, basically? Also, I can't remember for sure, but wasn't the first YouTube video like a video of an elephant or something? Valentine's Day 2005, co-founder Chud Hurley registered the logo, trademark, and domain name for YouTube. The idea was the users would upload videos talking about themselves and what they were looking for in a partner. There was even a dating tagline, tune in, hook up. There was also very quickly a problem. No one seemed to want to participate. Yeah. It was called Me at the Zoo. And I remember there being like elephants in it. Wait, what is this? Oh, somebody's complaining about the nerfs to Spider-Man and Mibble Ribble. I was like, why are people upset? Spider-Man nerfs. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. Because people wanted to search for the Janet Jackson wardrobe. That's it. That's right. Oh my God. The nip slip. Was it at a concert? I'm pretty sure it was at a concert. If I remember right. I could be misremembering though. But give me just a second. I'm not looking it up. I promise. I'm going to open words on stream. There we go. Making sure I have words on stream ready. It was a Super Bowl. So it was on stage. That's a concert. Super Bowl's a concert. I still stand by what I said. The Michael Jackson halftime show is still the greatest Super Bowl concert of all time. I will die on that hill. I will die on that goddamn hill. You can't stop me, bitch. I'm so proud of this species. Which species? I don't think I'm not proud of human species as a whole, but I know we could do better. Oh, good Lord. Watching live, Justin Timberlake was on there with her. Ah, yes. Justin Timberlake. Back when he still tried to, wait a second. Oh, okay. This might be to post that quote, how their ass destroyed their chair. And then the picture of the chair is definitely like one of those gamer chairs that gives out in like a year and a half. Prince in Los Angeles playing Purple Rain while it's actually freaking raining? Bruh. That we know of? Mayhaps? Wait a second. Wait. What is this? Hold on. Something about Nike and a bunch of VTubers? No. A music special sponsored by Nike. Bow, someone named Leah, Mari, Feifei, Fillion, Neanners, Olivia Monroe, Silvervale, Yoclash. A plethora of shit. What? Yeah, apparently Nike is sponsoring. Okay. It's their 2.5 year anniversary, which has always been weird to me about why mobile games do that. And it's a bunch of VTubers. A bunch of... Yeah, games do that all the time. Mobile games will find all the time in the world to fucking celebrate something. They'll do a celebration for like 100K downloads. They'll do a celebration every 6 months. If like the number of months reaches like some kind of special number, like let's say like 20 months or something, they may do a 20-month celebration. 100K, a million, 2 million, etc., etc. Every like major mobile app does that as they grow. So, you know. We've been live for 69 days. Yeah. Halftime show, MJ held nothing was going to happen until he started moving, so he just decided to stand still for a while. Yep. Pablo, do you know what a plethora is? Can I help you, Ag? As often as they can because it yoinks people in? Usually, yeah. And it's usually an excuse to do like giveaways and stuff. And those giveaways are what pull people in. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's usually the giveaways because like I remember when, oh, what was it? Like Fake Grand Order was advertising their, I think it was like million downloads or something. And they always do the advertisements where they're like, get X number of pools free when you join now. And it's always a loophole. And it's usually like some kind of annoying as shit battle pass or like number of days login in order to actually get the benefits that they talk about. It's like when Gamba sites give away free spins. Exactly. It's Gamba. It's Gamba is what it is. That's all it is. All right, chat. Ad break is going to start any second, and I have to run to the bathroom. So we are going to pop down here, and I'm going to give you the words on stream. Roderick! Oh no! I've only known one gacha that actually is playable for free. We want some cotton candy? Well, all right, but it may not be to your liking. How was your stream? How was State of Decay 2? What trouble were you getting into? What shenanigans were you up to? Constantly pestering me to log in to get this 5-star. I'm just like, no, you're giving away too much shit. You're cash grabbing because you're shut down before you shut down. Maybe. It's the thing is gachas aren't sustainable. They just aren't. Because they rely entirely on their whales, and the whales are quickly running out of money at a swiftly downward trend. So, you know. But I will be back shortly, guys. I need to run to the bathroom. I'll give you all the music. The words on stream will start just after I leave. And then we'll get right into the game because I want to get as much time in it as I can. Did y'all fail at level 1? Chat! How could you? Hi. How could you? Also, hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little, actually, hold on. I meant to put on a hoodie. I'm kind of cold. Give me a second. You can prove anything? I see that level 1 and that restart. Yeah. All right, hold on. I got to put on this hoodie. Yeah. I have no, oh, Jesus. I have no regrets getting my own hoodie in extra large because this thing is huge and extra comfy. All right. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. Black Myth Wukong, I'm sorry. Yeah, damn right, you're sorry. All right, real quick, does anybody know if this game works better with a controller or mouse and keyboard? Do I need to plug in the controller before I open it? What's the deal? What's the issue? All right. Turn you. Change category. Oakley dokley. What game is it? Expedition 33. Claire Obscura. Hold on, I'm not looking at it. Yeah, Claire Obscura Expedition 33. I've heard it's, I've seen somebody describe it as Souls-like turn-based. Might be easier on controller. That's what I figured. This seems very interesting to have a parry and dodge mechanic in a turn-based, like, sorted JRPG. So I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of excited for this game. I did not turn the music down. That is my bad all the way. My bad all the way. All right, let me get the game popping up. And then I will also swing over to... Oh, wait, hold on. It just blocked OBS. I gotta wait for it to open. Oh God, it's lagging. Okay. Now we can swing over here. Violent and violent fur. All right. Oh, okay, hold on. Best played with the controller. Okay, well that answers my question. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Tutorials, yes, please. Okay, that's better. I'm also having sensory overload because the game is so loud and I haven't changed the settings yet. There we go. All right, let's make sure we cap this. Yeah, 120 is fine. Everything else I think is fine. Let me make sure, is there any automatic QuickTime events? Okay, only if I'm really fucking stupid and bad at them. Okay. Oh no, it's an Xbox controller layout. No, you can't do this to me. Oh, why does it always want to use Xbox? I don't have an Xbox controller. Xbox. Holds, enable. Yeah, that's fine. Subtitles, obviously enabled. Display speaker name, speaker personal color. Yeah, I guess. I suppose that makes sense. Let's make it a little bit bigger. That's for everyone's sake, including my own. It's not that I struggle to read it. I want to have it for y'all too, so that like they're not just readable to me, but readable to y'all on another screen. All right, what do we have? Okay, yeah, we're just gonna leave it on that. Everything else is fine. Hold on a second. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody. All right. Controller time. 14 has Xbox controls, but default for anyone who doesn't know, Final Fantasy has been on PlayStation since it began. True. I think it's loading. I think this is the loading screen. Oh God, it's France. Uh-oh. Here, also, if I need to, I will adjust the volume. Actually, I am going to go ahead and adjust it. There we go. There we go. About that bend, it's unnatural. Oh my God. It was France. It was at one point. I have several questions. I do remember the only thing I've seen of this game before it came out was its teaser trailer. Okay, I kind of like the music. I kind of like the music. Wait a minute. There's no apocalypse. This is just Paris. Final Fantasy 4. No, we're talking about 14. 14 released on PC and PlayStation.
You should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
Okay, I'm gonna... Should I turn it up more, chat, or is it good? Is that Harry Osborn? Maybe.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I can't believe we have
The others are
European
waiting
Harry
for you. You're
Osborn.
supposed to be helping with the festival.
With what? Putting up 3 tables? They'll manage.
You underestimate Lumiere's enthusiasm for the expedition. There's at least
Touch higher? I
5
can do that.
tables.
All right.
Have you tried throwing with your other arm instead? If you could hit the paintress directly, that would actually be useful.
You know,
I think if I remember correctly, in the teaser trailer, they called her a
The
witch
uselessness of today and readying
and
my
not the
usefulness for
paintress. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
And soon we'll get to do a lot more than throw rocks.
It's Daredevil, is it?
That's what all the other expeditions said.
Hey, you know they gave their lives to lay the trail for us, right?
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox? Really?
You still got a flower
Huh.
to give, no?
Is there any other
Yes.
star-studded cast
Yes.
that I don't know about in this game?
Just,
Like Robert Pattinson? I can see the Robert
I'm
Patterson.
not sure how to
I
start.
can see the Robert Patterson
After 4
comparison.
years apart, what do I say to her on the day of her gamache?
You're
His
asking
nose is
me.
juts out a little more.
Sun's about to
This guy's
set,
nose juts
so
out a little bit more,
you
like the
direct.
bridge of his nose. Hi, Keyshawn.
Hey, Soph, been a while. Could
There's
we...
one other, but it's spoiler. Shit. Now I'm curious. Now I gotta look out for it. Listen, if I hear Clancy Brown, I'm losing my shit. Lumiere. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, why is he so fast? This is ridiculous. Hold on, can I... Oh, it'd been so funny if there was like an Easter egg that could make him dizzy. Good lord, why is he so fast? Also, look at this fucking... I guess utility closet? Is that marble on the side and a wooden facade? Jesus, we're fancy.
Come on. You're not going to forget
Oh, okay,
your
right.
flower
This is
here, are
Xbox.
you? You're not going to make a big impression on Sophie.
Oh, okay, I gotta take a flower. What flower do I take? So X is jump. It looks like the only thing I can do is jump right now. Oh, right here. A flower for Sophie. Take it. Yes. Yes, gimme. Okay, what is... Okay, I can't do anything with the book. Got it.
All right, let's
Oh,
go.
Jesus.
I'll accompany you there. Are you
Good
ready
lord,
to
look at her
see
go.
Yeah.
Maybe throwing
ready.
that rock that far. Listen, listen. Hold on, I just want to take this in for a second. So why are there so many like floating shards and stuff? What's this on the ground? Is that a tarp? I have so many questions. Wind power. See, there's more down there. What is this blue slurry? You'll find out. God, I hope so. God, I hope so. I'm
I
mocking,
set up
by the
these
way.
grapple shortcuts. Nice, huh? Don't tell your sister, though. I sort of borrowed the hooks from the Expedition Academy. Wish I had them when I was working as a
okay.
courier.
You
Come on,
borrowed
good
them.
stuff. Speed up a bit. Sophie will have already gamaged by the time you've arrived.
Jesus, she's hoofing it. Oh, okay, okay. It's right click to run. Let's go. Go, wait.
Can't believe Sophie already turned 33. She looks so much younger than you.
Thanks.
She's popular. I'm sure she already has a necklace full of flowers.
What?
We also just started sleep. Hell yeah, Ghost.
You look tense.
Yeah, yeah.
He was just slinging across the rooftops while wearing a suit
I
and
know what
obviously
you mean.
already has a prosthetic
A
hand.
little jewel.
No.
Come on, it'll loosen you up. You can't go and see Sophie all somber and tense.
Are the lip syncs for this game aren't in English, are they?
And if you win, I'll give you something you can use with your Lumina converter.
All right.
Those are
You're on.
words. Those are in fact words. Yeah, I was gonna say the lip sync seems to be in French,
Yes!
but this is English translated. Yes. Snazzy. Character can attack, aim, use a skill, or use an item. Skills consume AP to use if you gain AP by performing base attacks or parries. Okay. Turn order. Enemy's turn. Perform one action per turn. You can defend during their turn. Speed to dodge. Okay. Skill wheel can be used to cast skills. Each player can have up to 6 skills equipped. Ooh, okay. So limited number of skills. Lumiere Assault and Overcharge. You can use attacks and skills to charge up his overcharge meter and unleash a devastating blow with his overcharge skill to gain charges. Oh. 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 Okay, that was quick. That was really fucking quick. Jesus. Jesus. All right, overcharge. Okay, I hope this is cool. Dearly beloved instruction booklets.
For those who come after.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can see where the enjoyment in this
Now,
game
don't
comes
you
from.
feel
It packs a
better? I
punch.
see your smile.
That was the basic tutorial fight. I'm gonna get
All
absolutely
right.
fucking
Now.
devastated.
Let's go find Sophie.
Can be consumed to give an additional Lumina point.
I saw her
Okay.
near the red.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. You fucking killed her! Maybe
The
I
plaza is
did.
lively.
Oh, there we go.
Why
I was
people
like, where are
like
we
to
heading?
celebrate the gommage is still a mystery to me, but
Gommage. Gommage, you say?
the red and white tree. I've always found it beautiful. I
Which-
don't really understand.
Tree,
Me and
question mark?
Sophie broke up so long
Which
ago,
tree?
but
You fucking killed her,
clearly you
dude!
never got over her. Why'd you wait until today to say something? It's a bit late, isn't it? Sophie's down there.
Yeah, I know.
If I go
Good
down
luck.
there and it looks like what's her
I'll
name
be
from
here for you
Twilight,
if
I'm gonna
things
be upset.
don't go as planned.
I'm gonna be upset. What do you mean you called it? I think I missed it. Yo, fireman pole? Sir, the pose! My goodness. My goodness. Why is that lady so small? Is that lady supposed to be that small? Look at her, she's tiny! Why is her head so much smaller than everyone else's? Not the bob. She must be French.
Can we
I
talk?
think all of them are supposed to be French.
Gustav. I love you all.
But like, why was she so tiny? It didn't look right. It looked like a character model that was like out of scale for some
That's
reason.
for your, if there's room.
We're gonna find out that she has like
There's
a
always
curse or
room.
something. I think he's French too. What gave it away?
You know,
And
I'm
if you-
sorry that... I
You
miss
don't need
too.
to. Okay,
You go.
you.
All right.
You know how I feel? I wish things had been... You know, I often think...
You are such a
about
dork,
the
dude.
path, you know, and
Use your
about the
words.
future.
Use your
Still
words.
can't
Come
finish your
on.
sentences, can you?
Yep. that
I
hasn't
believe in
changed.
you. Or she could be 4'10". Maybe. But it's also like her
miss that.
proportions were really small too. Like her head seems so much smaller than everyone else's that it
I
seems
never faulted you for
irregularly
wanting to
so.
believe. You're fighting.
It's giving big they never got over each other after they broke up energy. More like they never
change
got
things.
together, I think.
I understand. Just
Okay, she seems like her lip sync is actually English.
in a different world, right?
Although she is somewhat
break the
talking through her
cycle.
teeth. It's Momo!
So she can't steal anyone
Where's
else's
Momo?
future.
Oh, the small one? I see.
Stubborn people change the world. And you are the
True.
most stubborn person I know.
A person who goes with the flow doesn't make ripples in history.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. I think I missed that. Because the way it entirely seemed this time like they were
to
still
the
talking
harbor?
like...
Yes.
I wonder how he lost his hand. Is it like hinting that he was in the 32nd expedition or... Okay, now we're playing Sophie. You know, I feel like we should do like a slow walk. Anyway. Oh! Okay, this is kind of cutting it close there, champ. So many flowers left. Not enough people to wear them anymore. Oh. Did I just walk through him? I did in fact just walk through him. He's not real!
Oh, hi, Sophie. So Gustav really did come, huh?
Yeah, he did.
I knew he would.
It's giving different quality mics for some reason. Has anybody already
Has
left?
everybody already left?
He just opened his mouth, but he never did? Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody's heading to the harbour. Sophie.
Looks like you still have a lot of flowers left.
Well, there are less and
Yeah.
less people to buy them. I just wish you didn't have to wear one.
So, okay, I guess we'll get some more explanations as this goes on. I haven't played the previous 32 games. I'm so lost.
I should finish cleaning up here and join everyone at the harbour.
That's why I'm so lost, because I haven't
See.
played the other 32 games. Me skipping straight to Final Fantasy 14.
See.
Gone for it. That's totally all right, Roderick. Take all the time you need. Food's important. I just had some yogurt this
Can't
morning.
imagine what you're going through.
And I also found out my
fine.
grocery store has, what is it? Protein donuts.
I'm fine.
Like
I've
little
lived
mini
33
donuts.
good years.
But they have like
Look
10 grams of
around.
protein, which was actually
We've
kind
had
of
our
cool to
whole lives
find.
to prepare. We're all fine.
So that's what I had for
Miss
breakfast
me.
because I got up early
I'm
as
not
shit. Oop,
You
wait, what are
will
you talking
be.
about? They're saying things. They're saying things behind me. Okay, Jesus. put my finger on why this game feels... yes. Interaction. In the middle of nowhere. On their way to the harbor. Reuniting one last time. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna keep moving, but this lady looks like she's just staring at me.
Oh, Sophie.
Is Sophie just really tall? I'm starting to think Sophie's just tall.
Marie. Your flowers? I didn't know about. I thought you were younger. And yet you didn't have children. I'm not having this conversation with you again.
Oh,
Not
oh
today.
boy.
Do you care so little about the future of Lumiere? How can you be so selfish?
Fuck you, bitch. I'll throw you in the fountain.
I'm not selfish enough to bring others into our doomed world. I know we are not many to think like this now. And it destroyed my relationship with the person I loved the most. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to spend this moment with him.
Grins. Grins. Classic French gaslight height
And
moment.
you should cherish this moment with your daughter.
Gaslight height? What?
Sorry. See you at the harbor. Good luck, Mary.
So do they specifically... Oh, wait, is that what it is? Oh, I can't remember. Is it the people of a certain age have to go? Right? Is that what it is? I forget. Is it counting down? I think that, if I remember correctly, I think the tower's counting down. And it's like every person of that age dies when it like ticks down. I don't remember for sure. Also, I want to see what these dorks are doing.
Costume is the best.
I like these little dorks.
Hey, madame, do you think the gestrels really exist?
What are gestrels? Of course they do.
That's what I think too. The others laugh, but I know they're real. One day, I will meet one.
All right, Ulyss. The way you enunciated that didn't feel natural. I didn't like that. Can you give me 6 more takes? I will meet one. Okay.
Even if it means joining an expedition.
I'm pretty sure you will.
I'll raise a gestural army and we'll crush the paintress.
Gomage memes, and it seems like they get sent on the expedition. Yeah,
And me and
because
my little brother will live with
essentially,
the
I think
gestrels,
we're gonna find
and they'll
out,
be on your
or I think
family.
what it was from the trailer for this game, is like I said, it's the people of the age that it's gonna tick down to that are gonna die when it ticks down. So they send the people that are of the specific age. And so basically each year, they get younger and younger.
We're tired of the orphanage. If the legends are true, they really like to fight. And that's why I'm training every day by beating up my little brother.
Siblings to shenanigans.
He would make a great gestural.
Thanks.
No, they don't grow younger. They die. That's why 34 was on the tower in the distance. So this is Expedition 33. The previous one was not 32. It was 34. So it's been counting down over the years. And every time it counts down, the people of that age die, disappear. I don't know what. We'll probably figure that out soon. I feel like we'll get like a big exposition going from the prologue to the like chapter 1. I like your outfit.
Is something wrong?
The expeditions. What a joke.
Would you rather just wait and
All
die?
they do is leave us here to die. They're just escaping.
Do you really think they escape?
You know their goal is to save us all, right?
Yes, that's what my father told me last year, before he left for Expedition 34.
Okay, I was right. They
And
do
here
count
we are
down.
again this year.
They considered unplugging the tower. I
We
don't
could
think
have
it's that
spent one
simple.
more year together instead of wasting it away.
They
Your
get
father
yanked
fought
on the
to offer you a
expeditions?
better
What do you mean
future.
yanked in this case?
I have no future. I know it, and I've accepted it. We're doomed.
Oh, wait, did you run straight to the harbor?
never know.
I'm probably also
This
missing people. There's probably
expedition
more
might be
people if I looked
different.
around.
There are some special people in this one.
Yeah, right.
Gustav, why don't you show her some of your fighting skills to prove her wrong?
Oh? Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, that was my own bad. I was not paying attention for the quick time events. Oh, gun. Some more AP. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I missed that one. Damn it. In one hit. So yeah, that's what it wants to be. That's what they want me to do.
For those who come after.
Oh, I can't see them. They're so fast.
This guy is strong.
They all train their picto skills very hard to save us all.
They?
Then
Is it just me?
Madame,
Am I the one who
why
hasn't
didn't you
been
join?
training?
Me? I'm content with my life. I know what I can and cannot change.
That just sounds like
Or
giving
maybe
up.
Because I was afraid.
Like tower number X, everyone age X -1 goes on the expedition whether they want to or not. Yeah, because it's gonna tick down, they're gonna die anyway.
do you think I should join the expedition?
How old are
My
you?
friend Ciel always says, do your best. Either it works or it doesn't. Live your life as you want.
The question is, are you willing to put it on the line to
don't want to have
potentially free
regrets.
everyone? Yeah, she's a
I
fatalist,
don't have that
exactly.
much time.
When the time comes, you'll make the right decision. I'm sure.
Thank you. Now I think I know.
How you doing, Bob?
Give this to your boyfriend.
I'm
My
gonna have.
father
It's
gave
gonna
it
take
to
a lot
me,
to get
but
better at
it
like
might be
the
more useful
dodging
for
and the
him.
parrying. Oh hey, nice. So hold on. So let me just stand behind her real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm quite a bit tall, a few inches taller than her. So also than her. Okay, where's the guy? Okay, he's taller than her. How tall is Gustav? Come here, Gustav. Quit spinning around me. Look at me. Look at me! La Expedition. Interesting. I like the outfits. I dig the outfits. Hey, buddy.
Why does Manon keep saying death comes to us all?
You haven't heard that before?
Manon?
No.
Afraid of eye contact? Think the language might be French? You think?
Unofficial expedition motto. never heard
Possibly.
this
It could be. It could be. You
one of
may
his
be onto
favorites.
something here, Grens. You may be onto something.
I
All
think he
right.
prefers.
Hi,
They're
Coco.
already
Hi,
dead.
Stinky.
You're just catching up.
Yes, Coco. I know you don't like the rain. Pat, 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 pat. All right.
Yeah, I heard that one recently.
I don't know. Kinda nice in a way. Having a deadline forces you to prioritize. It's a bit freeing as we
Interesting
get closer to the
take
end.
on it.
You can really find the silver lining in everything, can't you?
Yeah, Coco's in the Discord. There's pictures of
No,
Coco in the
it's just-
Discord.
Things don't always work
I can
out
post
the
some
way
more
we
later
want.
today if you want.
Like,
Oh, whoops, my bad. Yeah, if you go to the petting zoo, you can find some pictures of Coco. The flower market. For their loved ones before they gommage. Gommage! Degommage. Degommage! Oh, hello.
Hi, Gustav. You're back. Oh, did you want
Okay,
to pick
so
out a
certain people have
different
certain
flower?
interactions with the characters that we have, and it just
the
force
one you
changes
suggested
them.
earlier was perfect.
Oh, I'm glad. These garlands are our last farewell.
Definitely kick
want them
the
to feel special.
ADHD of the ass. Gotta get things done because you're gonna die.
I have a garland saved for you too.
I mean,
It's
it
not
also
a farewell
like
garland. Good luck, my friend.
Thanks,
Aw.
Ophelia.
all right, hold on. Like, so I don't know for sure. It depends on like what that blue gunk on the walls and everything is. So we know there's gardens. We know Gustav has a rooftop garden. Still kind of classic French architecture. So... Wind power. The buildings have, like, broken from this blue stuff, which... Still don't have an explanation for, but okay.
Luna's playing. You two would make a cute couple.
Haha,
If you say
friends.
so.
Friends always trying to pitch each other.
Maybe something already happened, huh?
You think if I snoop a trash can enough, I'll find something in it eventually? I wonder. I wonder if they hid something in a trash can in this city. I do like the outfits, though. Hold on, chat. I'm sorry. I'm so nosy. Just gotta, you know? I gotta.
This lady truly is exquisite.
In love.
Not quite. I'm only in love with her art.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
My inspiration has been quite lacking recently. Nobody
That
buys
is a...
paintings
Holy... Hold on.
anymore.
Look at that paintbrush.
Just because she is called the paintress doesn't mean painting is evil.
True.
Your canvas seems quite empty.
Searching for a muse, are you?
I need inspiration. But you, I can see you're in love. But with this fine gentleman, I suppose.
I'm Pictomancer. Oh, no.
We broke up.
That is of no consequence in the matters of love.
I mean, he is right. He is kind of right.
But it is this passion I so fiercely desire in my painting. I know. How about showing me a dance of love and sorrow?
I swear I know this voice. Does somebody look up who the voice actor for this guy is?
I am also the official painter of the opera.
Being a couple not doesn't mean you're not still in love. True.
Will you help me? If you inspire me, you may become the main painting of Lumiere's opera.
Hell
Fantastic.
yeah.
You may start. Here, gorgeous lady, take this paintbrush and show me your wrath.
Okay, I guess.
Combat with Sophie?
Come on, dodge your lady's beautiful moves. Come on, don't counter your loved one. This
That's
is not
true.
a duel
Okay,
to
so
the
I need
death.
to dodge.
Come on, dodge your lady's beautiful moves. That was splendid. One more time. Sublime. One last time.
Okay, okay. From Baldur's Gate. Oh, it could be. It could be. You could be right on that one.
That was splendid. Splendid.
Maybe, 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 maybe.
I was so enthralled that I completed the painting in an instant.
Sir, how the fuck did you do that?
It's nice to know something of us will remain in the world after today. Thank you.
Wait, is this the course of a single day? Are we expecting to do the entire
It is
expedition
I
in a
who should
day?
Thank you. It was a moving dance. I will propose it for the new opera painting we have to do this year.
I
Aw.
feel it wasn't that impressive, but okay.
Love will always be impressive.
He's so sweet, if you're not a little eccentric.
Also, take this as a gesture of appreciation. I see your not boyfriend is an expeditioner.
Yes, the not
May
boyfriend.
prove useful.
Everybody in the city just being like, why aren't you married? Relocate. Oh, okay. Skill points. Interesting. All right. Can we interact with this lady? Why does she wear her shoes? Where are her shoes? Doesn't seem like we can do any.